Okay, so let's talk about dispatching. I get a lot of questions about this, so time to give you guys a lot of answers for all y'all questions. Um, but yeah, so I dispatched out of Suffolk County, Long Island. The place that I worked at, had two dispatchers on at all times, and one would take care of like one town, and the other would take care of another town. So we did two towns through like one spot, and then we had a mutual aid to another town, so we would help them out, they would help us out. So yeah, but if someone called 911, we're not the ones picking up the phone. That's Suffolk County Fres, and then they take the call and then they put it on bricks, and then we see the call, and then our crew sees the call, and then the crew will go respond to the call. And what we have to do is just respond over the radio whenever they're giving us their signals. So whenever the crew is leaving base and they're heading on the scene, like behind the scene at like 2100, like whatever, and they're on the scene, or like if they're delayed at the tracks, you need to log that. CPR starting, call canceled, unfounded, all that stuff. And yeah, and if you didn't have a crew, then you would like signal through it, and you would talk to Medcom about it. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Medcom stands for medical communications. It is very important. For those of you who volley in Long Island, you guys would know you have to give your signals to Medcom as well as the dispatcher back at your base. Um, they have their own dispatching. They dispatch EMS units. They coordinate patient transports between hospitals and other facilities. They track hospital diversion statuses, providing information to EMS units about which hospitals are accepting patients. It facilitates communication between EMS units, hospitals, and like all that in between emergencies. Coordinate additional resources during disasters or large scale events. Yeah, very, very important, very useful. They are responsible for coordinating and dispatching all emergency and non emergency patient transports and monitoring hospital diversions. Shout out to Medcom. Love you guys. Even though I'm horrified to talk to you guys over the radio. Horrified. Like, in a volley, whenever you're telling them your signals, that's fine. But, like, I'm personally horrified to be like, I don't have a crew. Can I please have someone? Like, I'm horrified. Because, like, sometimes they're not really, like, too friendly, and I feel like I'm bothering them. And, like, me personally, that freaks me out, and then I feel really bad. I feel awful. I hate feel like I'm bothering people. And with some people it's like, wow, okay, I'm just never gonna talk again. But they sound that way because nothing that they do is easy. It's a lot happening at once, and it's a lot of stressful things happening at once, and it's not easy, it's draining, it's mentally taxing. You might think that dispatching is like nice and easy and it can't be that hard because you're sitting at a desk all day, but like what you're actually doing is crazy. I could say it was crazy and I didn't even take direct calls. If I was the person on the line whenever the high 911 and then having to do all of this, because like, so I get a call, I have to make sure I have a crew. I have to make sure I have a crew. Because if I don't, I have to tell them that I don't have a crew. So, like, they're keeping track of me and I'm keeping track of my crew. Like, you know what I mean? But, like, so they're taking care of all the towns. And then I'm just one of them. You know what I mean? Imagine how stressful that is to manage all of that. And there are so many calls that come in per minute, and then be like, do you guys have a crew? Do you guys have a crew? You don't have a crew. Da 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 da. You have to manage all that. And then you have to take that, like, wow. It's a lot. It is a lot. So a lot of people are like, oh, dispatchers are miserable. Da da da. Can you blame them? Like, the place that I work at right now, where I'm on the road as an EMT, they had us do a dispatch rotation, and I was like, oh yay, like I get to see how their dispatching works. The light in my life would leave. It is so wow, it is just so much. And I could not handle it. I know I can't. I can multitask, but to that level, and then, wow. It's just a lot of talking over the radio in conclusion. Yeah, that's really all it is. You're just like staring at a bunch of screens all day, and just keeping track of ambulances and like when they get gas and who's on the crew, and filling out like reports, because it all is like statistics. So at the end of the year, as long as all the reports are done right, they can say we had this many this calls or this many trauma calls, this many medical calls. Our response to them was 7 minutes or da da da, like stuff like that. So it just helps with the statistics. Like compared to being on the road, it's nice because you're inside. If it's rainy, you don't have to go outside and stair chair someone in the rain, which I've done. Which isn't fun. But it's just like when I had to stair chair someone in the snow, I don't have to do that when I'm dispatching, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I'm recording what the weather is. I'm like, snow? Oh, man, I hope they're all right. But I'm inside. Since you're inside, you get a fridge, you get a microwave. That's a big deal for me because I usually use a thermos and then I like make sure to eat it before it gets cold. Yeah, I don't have to do that here. I could bring in food and like actually eat and not stress. Out of the two different towns, of course, one was busier, so I always chose that one. Like, it's consistently busy throughout the day, which makes the time pass quicker. You could do an 8-hour shift or a 12-hour shift, or like I think more, like maybe like a 13 or something. But I loved a good 6 to 6 on Sundays. I really did. Or an 8 to 4. 6 to 6s were fun though. The thing that I didn't like about dispatching was how multiple calls can drop at one time. Meanwhile, whenever you're on the road, it's one call at a time. Not dispatching. Okay. You could get a call. You have a crew. Tell Medcom you have a crew. The crew goes out. You get another call. You call up the room. Hey, do we have a crew? They're like, yeah, we do, but after this, we don't. So we get another call. Hey, Medcom, we have a crew. That crew goes out. You get another call. We don't have a crew. Call again just to make sure. Like, hey, you sure we don't have anybody? What do we need? Do we need just an EMT, just a driver, whatever? And then you tell Medcom, and you're like, listen, like, I need a signal 3 for an EMT. They blow out the signal 3. Another call comes in. So you have to be like, oh, no change on the first one. And can I also get a signal 3 for a full crew for the next one? Thanks. And then that would always freak me out. Basically, it's a signal 3. You wait for it to refresh, and then another signal 3. And then you wait, and then it's like, all right, no change. Please mutual aid the nearest or give it to TAC. I also didn't know what TAC was until I started dispatching, but that's basically a bunch of towns come together and they provide an additional bus, which is TAC. So for one day, one town provides a crew for TAC, and then let's say one town has no crews. They would say, yo, like, TAC, can you take this? So it's just like they're just around and they help out. It's an extra set of hands. And like, let's say we don't have like ALS, like, oh, TAC medic, can they take it? Stuff like that. But you know, I finally got the hang of like, oh, mutually the nearest because we don't have any crews. I got the hang of it on my second to last shift. So for the 8 months, I'd stress and stress and stress. And then I did it alone once, and I was like, oh, that's it? So I definitely freaked myself out. But, you know, the people there are very lovely. The only thing is because I started off volunteering, so I knew those signals, but then at the new place that I work with currently, it's 10 codes. So bye-bye to those, you know, Suffolk County codes. And then here I am using 10 codes and then trying to learn these county codes again. They'd be like, oh, we're 21. And like, it maps it out for you on the screen you're looking at. So it wasn't that much of a struggle.
And you learn it after a while because, like, all right, 5 and 2/8 means that they're done and they're ready to go back. Nothing negative to say about dispatching. It's just that it gets very hectic because you can, like, the town that's not busy, I don't like doing that one because they'll be quiet, quiet, quiet. Once 11 hits, 20 calls at once, and then it'll be quiet again. That freaks me out. No, yeah, so I definitely preferred it busy all day. The thing that also is not the best is you're in a dark room all day. You see the interesting call, you see it come over bricks, but you can't respond. You're not in the building with the crew. Well, for me, you're not in the building with the crew, so you can't see what happened. You can't see how it went. I personally didn't know anyone who was writing because I was in the same building as them. I didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had no idea. Like, I recognized people over the radio because I would talk to them like every Sunday. Didn't have a face for their name. Just was like, oh, I know that voice kind of. So, 'cause I remember when I volleyed, the way dispatch was in the same area as us, we would talk and, like, he'd be like, oh, how the call went, and we'd tell him, like, I don't know, they like took that part out, and I was surprised that it was like that, but I guess it makes sense because we're so busy, so we don't really have time to do that anyway. Um, but yeah, no, definitely a vibe. It's not hard to learn. Again, you're just filling out reports and keeping track of people. When they don't tell you where they are, you're looking at them on a map and you're like, well, I see you at the hospital. You've been there for 40 minutes. Is it that delayed, or are you guys just having a little fun? Like, stuff like that. But, you know, if you're interested in it, I would say do it. Of course, just see what it is. If you don't like it, leave. like, just leave. However, I don't know if it would be direct call. Like, again, we were not walking people through their emergencies whenever they're calling 911. It was never, oh, 911, my brother can't breathe. It was never that.
Taking direct calls, that's definitely a thing. I just didn't do it. So that depends on where you're applying. Definitely do your research and ask questions for the interview. Like, is this a direct call? Da da da. Because during my interview, they're like, "Do you have any questions?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "You got the job." And I was like, "Okay." Like, I was just like happy the whole time, which of course, like, it's fun. But yeah, it's possible. For those of you who like to watch TV, I highly recommend 911. That show is the first medical show I've seen that takes into account fire, paramedics, and the dispatcher. Nothing ever gives you like the insight of the dispatcher ever that I've seen. That was the first one. And I feel that they did such a good job doing so. Like, if you want to understand what dispatching is like, definitely watch that. Of course, it's not like perfect, but it's better than like nothing. Like, they really did a really good job. Because even whenever Buck's sister is the dispatcher, like, you just see it, and like, yeah, you're in a room with a bunch of people on screens. That's quite literally what it is. With your little headset and you're locked in. Yes, that's what it is. And in 911, they talk about that, how it's a struggle of being on the other side of the whole thing, where it's like the patient was whispering for help. Did they get the help? This patient stopped breathing. I heard their last breath and I don't know what happened. Like, it's like stuff like that where like it stays with the dispatcher, and it's like a lot of people don't realize it. A lot of people don't think about it. A lot of people don't think about it. Um, but yeah, no. Shout out to all dispatchers out there. Whether it's direct call or not or whatever, shout out to you guys, because nothing about it is easy. Not knowing the result of the call, especially if it's a bad call, it can be quite taxing. Personally, for me, it wasn't taxing. But then again, I had anything severe. I haven't had severe calls. I haven't had any severe dispatching calls. Um, so that's also that thing. But yeah, no. But I do understand how it happens. It just has not happened to me yet. And I'm sure it'll happen. My first cardiac arrest, that stayed with me for days. A couple days later, I was just like I would just sit there. Like I was thinking about death so much. Like not like, oh, I want to kill myself, but like, what was that guy seeing? What was he experiencing? If he was dead and he didn't come back, what like did he feel anything that we were doing to him? Like it just like raises a lot of questions. But then it went away because I probably got another call and then I focused on that and then I let it go. But yeah.